Good evening and welcome to the FiTT Show, financial information for today and tomorrow. I am Bobby P. Kinzer,
And I'm Thomas Doty.
and we are the FiTT Show, helping out people get their finances in shape. How you doing today, Dope?
Hectic day, brother, down on the beach.
Oh, what a terrible life. What a struggling life, man. Sorry to hear that. But it's good to see you, my good brother.
Good to see you,
Um,
man.
and today is our 211th show. So, um, congratulations to you and me for
Congratulations to you.
another straight show, and we keep it going,
Excuse
man.
me.
It's been 4 straight years, so thank God for that. Just want to make sure we give a disclaimer: we're not fiduciaries, we're not licensed or qualified financial advisors, but we are financial educators. So we are definitely equipped to be able to provide you with information about personal money management. Couple of administrative things. We love for you to click on the like button and the heart button. That gives us more traction, exposure to more people. That's how it works out here on Facebook. Please go out there on Facebook and share with your family and friends and coworkers. And also on YouTube, we want you to subscribe. We are building a wonderful community, Dope. We're over 500 viewers, so glad and feel very fortunate about that. Oh, okay. Let me got a lot of stuff going on here.
What's that about it? I can't read it.
That's just talking about clicking on. Okay, this is about our information, and then I want you to place comments in the comment box because that gives us to even more people when you put comments in there. Like if you have an opinion about something we talked about or have a comment. And if you have an idea on the show, or if you have some questions pertaining to what we talked about, or you just want to tell us how good we do, put it in the comment box. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it works with Facebook. We get even more access to people if the more comments you put out there. And you can't hit that like button enough. It doesn't count as one if you're doing it. Every time you hit it, it counts as a separate hit. They don't look at it, and that helps us get exposure to people. So now that I've got the administrative stuff out the way, dope, man. So what's happening? Where are you?
Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, got my grandkids here, and they don't start school till next week. So
So how old are your grandkids?
7 and 10. They're
Wow,
just a great age, fun.
great. It got to be
Two
like,
wonderful little boys.
well, to keep you young, man. So how's the weather down there?
Weather's absolutely perfect. This is the best week to come because everybody's back in school, so it's not crowded. Restaurants aren't crowded. It's just this is the best time to be here.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
good.
North Myrtle is nice.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, dope. Let's start at the top of the show like we always do. We start off with the stock market, right? And we
Yeah.
hope you got some good news to tell us today,
Well, it's it's
and we
it's,
hope it works
it's
today.
more the same. It's just a mixed bag. I remember last week we had the big hit, the big negative week we had. The market's come back a little bit since then. It's if you look at the Dow, I'm sorry, the S&P, it's actually up slightly from last week. Nasdaq's up, which is all good. The stocks I own, they all recovered except a couple. Let's go right. Everything's kind of up slightly, but Pfizer went down a buck. But again, I don't concern myself with that. And I imagine they're going to get hit a little bit because the new guy who's in charge of the health and what's it called, Bob Kennedy?
Health, HHS, Health and
Yeah,
Human Services.
HHS. He's kind of de-emphasizing vaccines, which is it's really scary because it seems like they're making political decisions instead of talking to doctors. Because all the doctors thinks everybody should get a COVID, but here's what it is. So I don't know if that's affecting Pfizer. And my United Healthcare went down a buck. but everything else is kind of up slightly. NVIDIA announced earnings yesterday,
Right.
and they had another super uh, quarter, just a fantastic quarter. The most, it's the what is it called? It has the highest market cap of any company, and it actually went down. The stock actually went down after they announced earnings, and the reason being they're wondering if they are going to be able to sell their chips in China. They're wondering if the Chinese will push their locally made or the Chinese chip makers versus NVIDIA's. So that's the only negative because they keep beating all the analysts' estimates of what the results are going to be. They continue to just blow the estimates, the analyst estimates away. So they're still going like gangbusters. Once this Chinese thing is cleared up, I think the stock's going to take off a little bit more because several of the analyst firms have upped their target, their stock price target. So we'll see if that happens. But
Well, you know what they're talking about in the video, though, like what you said, the video is like sort of taking over the market, right? And,
well, they control the market basically. Everybody
right,
wants their chips,
right.
and
So they
a
talk
couple
about,
of
yeah, go ahead.
no, but a couple of things they're worried about is if the Chinese are going to buy their chips, and if everyone is going to continue this huge investments in AI. And as long as they do, they're going to be buying NVIDIA chips. But you got so many things in the market that is creating volatility between the tariffs, the Fed. I think the market's going to react negatively if Trump is successful in firing that Fed governor, because that'll mean that the Fed is not independent anymore. And I
But
think the
he can't.
market,
She sued him today, so we'll see.
yeah, but we'll see how that shakes out. Because if it goes to the Supreme Court,
Oh yeah,
nobody can figure
nobody.
out what they're going to do. So,
Good point. Very good
but
point.
that the market's going to react very negatively if that position with the Fed becomes part of the administration. Right now, it's independent. Hoping it stays that way. So between tariffs, interest rates are still high, inflation, the Fed thing, the wars are still going on. So there's a lot of volatility out there. So as we always say, the long play is what's important. You just kind of hang in there as we get through these rough times.
Yeah, dude, and gold is holding in there. It's up a little bit, only $1, but I think it's $1. It's at 1%. $1, and it's up to $3,400 an ounce, which is still one of its highs. And silver is starting to edge up there too, about $38 an ounce. So that's good too. Let's go to the cryptocurrency market, though, which we also follow. Just chugging along is only up 2%. The total cryptocurrency market cap is only up about 80 billion. It's at 3.8 trillion. I mean 3.9 trillion. Excuse me, heading towards 4 trillion. That's a high. The Bitcoin is only up less than less than 1% actually. It's so low. I didn't put it at zero. But it's still at a high of $112,334 per Bitcoin. It's up $186, and like I said, that's less than 1%. Ethereum is up, about $286. That's doing good. And Solana, for some reason, is up 19%. It went from $180 per Solana coin to 214, up $34. So don't know what's going on there. But that's what's happening in the crypto market, though. It's not too much. Like we say, it's all about the long play. So hold on and keep
Yes,
watching.
it's kind of funny. Son-in-law was talking about that today because a lot more companies now are charging a surcharge for using a credit card. And again, that's a third party getting involved in a transaction between you and a store. And it's just, again, another reason that I think Bitcoin is, and not necessarily Bitcoin, but I think cryptocurrency is going to be successful, just because you don't need a third party in this transaction, and that's the credit card companies basically taking their cut out of the transaction, which is really not good. If I had Bitcoin, I just pay with Bitcoin, or obviously I could have paid with cash too. But
what I'm doing though, I'm sorry. You see, I'm like close to the screen
yeah,
because I'm trying to look. Modestine said, "Wipe your mouth, Dodie." Yeah.
I can't see the screen, so thank you.
Thanks, Modestine. All the way from South Carolina. Those some good eyes. But as you were saying, I'm sorry, Dodie.
Yeah, again, I just think there's another point for Bitcoin. I keep saying Bitcoin. I should be saying crypto, but Bitcoin is just the most popular. But there's no
Right,
guarantee that it's going to stay on top.
right. So, Dode, last week we had a interesting topic. It's like let's talk about money. Really talking about how people shun away from conversations about money or don't talk to their kids at an early age about money. And we had a good conversation. But today, this is very important. It's going to hit a lot of people, and whether you're in college, right, and getting ready to get into the work world and get a 401k plan, or you currently in a 401k plan, or you retire and have a 401k plan, it's going to apply to all of you. And the topic today is 401k plan pitfalls to avoid. So,
Yeah, and most people think when you get a 401k, you set it up, and then people just kind of leave it alone, and you don't stay on top of it. You know, they don't review it, they don't look at fees, they don't look at changes. You know, if they need to have an emergency, they might take a look. But a lot of people don't stay on top of it like they should, and that's what we're going to talk about today to keep you from missing out on money that you could be making. I mean, just a 1% difference in your earnings could make a huge impact on how much you'll have at retirement. And so those are some of the things we're going to talk about today, focusing on your 401k plan and making sure you're doing the things that work for you.
and there's several key pitfalls that can undermine your 401k savings. Because when it comes to 401k mistakes, it pays to listen to the investing gurus. Like Warren Buffett once said, "Dope, the rule number one in investing, never lose money. You know what number two is? Never forget rule number one." So wise advice, especially from when planning for your retirement, with no time for do-overs, as most Americans can no longer rely on pensions for retirement, and because Social Security appears to be on shaky ground, the humble 401k plan is the workhorse of most people's retirement plans. So today we're going to talk about things that, avoiding the following pitfalls, which can save you money. You go first, though.
Yeah. Okay, the first one is not contributing more. And that's the thing, especially if you're young. If you can start off at least contributing the amount that they match. But I'm a proponent in maxing out your 401k plan, because I mean, if you're gonna live on what's left regardless. If you got a pay cut and the money went, if they took money out of your paycheck, you'd find a way to get by. So I think you find a way to get by contributing as much as you can. And if you start when you're young, the difference in what you'll have at retirement is crazy. And so I strongly encourage you that's the one regret that people always have. I wish I had saved more, as opposed to just not saving as much, blowing it on things that you don't really need. And so try to find other ways to save money or to put money away, but save as much as you can in your company savings plan. Max that thing out if you can.
Yeah, that's very important, though. Actually, I was trying to look up because I couldn't remember what is the maximum for 2025, and the maximum for 2025 is oh 23,500. It went up, and if you do it in 50 and over, you do the catch up, it's another 7,500. Whoa! So the maximum, oh wow, that's pretty good, man. It's $31,000, though, up from when I was. It was like $18,000 when I was started with the 401k plan. So that's good advice, though. That's definitely a pitfall. Another one is a lot of people like emergencies can happen, and we get it. Virtually everyone has been there, but withdrawing money early uh, is is uh, is what a lot of people get into that pitfall. And you cannot think of your 401k plan as a savings account. Now, withdrawals from the traditional 401k plan, we all know it's taxable. Most people's taxable income these days is around 22 and 24%, and that's a big hit. And withdrawals before the age of 59 and a half are subject to the 10% penalty. Now, the IRS gives a list of exceptions to this penalty now. If one makes an early distribution without meeting one of these exceptions, the individual could be subject to a hefty tax bill. So unless your emergency falls under one of the exceptions they made, you pay way more than you want by withdrawing from your fund. And even if it's one of those emergencies, and you think, one of those emergencies, think long and hard before making the withdrawal. You'll be losing the chance to make money on your money. That's the thing about compounding interest. Compounding interest is where interest make compounds on interest, and if you're taking it out, you're going to be losing that opportunity. Now, in many cases, you may even be better off taking out a small loan rather than withdrawing out of your 401k plan. However, using a small loan irresponsibly can get you in trouble too. Now, while a loan can be a better option than an early withdrawal, it carries risks also. If you lose your job, you may not, and I'm talking about taking a loan against your 401k plan. You could lose your job and you may need to repay the loan in full immediately. Otherwise, the unpaid amount is treated as early withdrawal and incurs penalties and taxes. That's if you decide to take out a loan against your 401. Some people take out money, and you need to watch out because cashing out early, when changing jobs, some people cash out their 401k plan and they incur penalties and taxes. And it's generally advisable to roll over the funds into a new retirement account to avoid those costs and continue growing your savings.
Hey, by piggybacking on that, on taking money out early, the thing that really makes me cringe is people who take the money out for non-essential things.
Yeah.
And a vacation, a car, a purse, things that aren't going to appreciate, and
Ooh.
that can really mess up your future. Because again, you lose the benefit of that money compounding, and the best way to do it is put that money in there, leave it, let it grow, let it work for you, and don't jeopardize your financial future by taking that money out for things that you don't really need.
Yeah, that's good advice though. That's another pitfall, man. Now another one, and people don't do this though. Not consulting with a CPA. Now, whatever you decide to do, make sure you consult your CPA or a financial advisor. Because talking to someone who knows finance, whom you trust, that's important, can mean the difference between losing thousands of dollars and making thousands of dollars. Another common regret people make is that they do not notify a CPA or financial advisor when they conduct major financial transactions in their 401k plan. Because I know a lot of people, they come to me though, and that's cool, because I'm knowledgeable. But some people just, like I was talking to my friend the other day. She moved all her money out. When was it? Was it last month when the market down? But she moved everything, she had into the G funds. She said she just couldn't take it. I'm like, hold on, slow down. And the rules around 401k plans and IRAs are complex. Now, not checking with a CPA or a financial advisor can be really costly, and you can end up with substantial penalties and tax implications. So before you make any big moves with your 401k plan, pick up the phone. You'll be glad you did.
Another one is just, and this one goes for your 401k plans and just for your everyday investing, not paying attention to your funds. A lot of people set their funds up when they start with the company, and then they pick those funds based on whatever, and they never revisit them. And if you stay with the company long enough, your situation might change where you might be willing to take more risk, or you might need to take less risk, or the firm may add new funds that you need to know about that might better fit your need, or they might have funds that just fit what you want to do better. So you have to review where your investments are and make adjustments as necessary, especially if your risk tolerance changes or your personal situation change as far as what fund you're actually investing in. So you should pick a time period, whether it's every other month, monthly, to just look at your plans, see if any new funds have been added, if the funds you like are cost effective, if the fund still fits your risk tolerance. All those things can be reasons that you might want to change funds, okay? And you might need to research whatever new funds they have available to see if it fits what you're trying to do. And so don't just set it and forget it, because there are some things you need to make sure that it still fits what you're trying to do. And again, a small adjustment, a percent here, a percent there, can make a huge difference as far as what your bottom line is going to be when you do decide to retire. And every year, they should supply you with the performance of the funds. We always tell you the past performance is not necessarily indicative of future performance, but you need to look at how your fund's performing. And if it's bad several years in a row, especially when it's compared to benchmark funds like the S&P 500, then you might want to consider a change. So make sure you're looking to see how your fund is doing, what the expense ratio is, what the market cap is, all those things to make sure that fund is still meeting your needs and it is performing as it should, especially when you compare it to those benchmark funds.
And just another tip about rolling over your funds, because a lot of plan advisors or financial advisors, if you're paying them, they sometimes, when you come up to 9.5, they tell you to roll them over into a Roth IRA or roll them over to a IRA. And the reason why they're telling you to do that is, one, because, like, was mentioned, that you tend to have more options than your company plan when you roll it over to like another plan like Fidelity or Vanguard. They tend to have more other choices. But your 401k plan has been doing well and been giving you returns, then you can just leave it there. But don't rule it out. Not rolling it over, because there's other great growth possibilities out there. The next one is this one. A lot of people don't pay attention to, and they ignore the fees. Like, high fees can significantly erode your savings over time. And you need to be aware of the fees associated with your plan, and consider switching funds if lower cost options are available. And what I mean by lower cost options, most people don't look at, it's called the expense ratio. And the expense ratio should be under 1%. So in other words, if it's like point point oh, say it's 0.40%, that means it's like they charge you 40. Is that right? Yeah, 40 cent on every $1,000, right? That's the expense. That's why you want it to be under 1.0. That's how you can tell. And it's in every perspective when you look at mutual funds, index funds, and even at your 401k plan funds. They'll tell you, but most people don't look at the expense ratios. But that is important because that's money that could be compounding for you if they're charging, taking it out. So don't ignore the fees and make sure you be aware because those fees can really chip away, even though it's just like, 40, that's like 40 cents for $1,000. I think that's how it works though, right?
Yeah, yeah. You got to make sure you're comparing to what the other firms are charging and how they're performing. And one more thing with 401ks you need to be worried about. The president did another executive order, but it really didn't change anything. But he wants to allow private equity and crypto to be part of your choices when it comes to 401ks. Now, he can't do that. The executive order is really meaningless, but he's just trying to push. I think is it the SEC, I think, who has to make that decision. It's another firm. It may even have to be voted on. But the important thing to realize is those things are very, very risky. The fees are typically higher than the funds that are currently in your fees. And what they're going to show is that some of them have done tremendously well, really, really well, made a gazillion dollars, but not all of them do. So just if that does come to pass, that you can pick cryptocurrency or private equity funds in your 401k. I personally wouldn't do it because, again, they are very risky. And that's not money you really want to gamble with. Maybe if you're extremely young and you have a lot of time to recover, you might want to consider it. Other than that, I'd be a little leery of jumping into either crypto or private equity in my 401k.
Yeah, it can it could be yeah. That's good advice though. No, did I skip one or was
No,
that
you
was you?
you know, you kind of did, but it's no big deal.
I think I still got jet lag, man.
You've been back a week, brother.
No, I still feel like I got jet lag. I don't care how long I've been back,
Yeah,
man.
you were gone for a good time. Your body probably adjusted to that time.
It still is. But yeah, but we covered everything, correct?
Right.
Good stuff. So look, if y'all have any questions, please, by no means, make sure you put some comments in there. Um,
And one other thing I wanted to mention, Bob, you have to be aware when you do retire, there are tax implications and differences between how IRAs are handled versus how 401ks are handled. So when you retire, a lot of companies, you can leave your money in your 401k, or you can do a rollover into an IRA. But just make sure you understand what the differences are and that you won't be hampered if you do make that change. And the important thing to note is if you do make that change, make sure you do a rollover and you do not take ownership of the money. Because if they cut you a check, they're going to withhold 20%, and you'll have to come up with that other 20%, or it'll be taxable to you. And so I hope, does that make sense, Bob, what I just said?
yes, it
Okay,
does.
so make sure you don't take ownership of the money. Make sure you actually do a rollover if you want to move it from your 401k to an IRA.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the benefit of doing that is you obviously have a lot more investment choices if it's in an IRA versus the choices that are in your company's 401k plan. So
So,
be aware of
though,
that.
Brian, is it Donaghy?
Donahue, that's my nephew.
Donaghy, he said, how often should you review your funds?
And at least, I would say at least monthly, just to make sure nothing's new. Now, you probably have an open enrollment where once a year they come with changes to the existing fund. So definitely then. But I'd even say at a minimum quarterly, because you should get performance updates every quarter of how all the funds are doing, including the ones you choose, but also the other funds. And you might see a fund that's doing consistently better than yours, or has lower fees than yours, or it just might fit what you're trying to do. Because a lot of companies are going to have target date funds, in which case they invest to try to maximize how much they'll have at a certain date. Others will have bonds, they'll have fixed income funds, and they'll have common stock funds. And again, you'll have to decide that mix based on where you are, or also based on your risk level. The more conservative you are, the more you're going to have in bonds and fixed income funds. The more aggressive you are, risk taker, you're going to have more invested in stocks and less money in bonds and fixed income. So, yeah, I would say at a minimum quarterly, but stay on top of how well your fund is doing to make sure you're in the right place.
I say at a minimum quarterly too, though. But I'll be watching my stuff monthly.
Oh, I looked at my stuff every day without.
Yeah, well, I say monthly. That's a lot.
That's just me because
I be looking at my stuff every week.
I'm a geek. I'm a geek like that,
Me too, though. I actually be watching it almost every week, man.
Yeah.
And not that I do anything, but I just like to see the trends and things,
Well, but that's different. I think he was asking how often should you review it, and I'd say it on a quarterly basis because you should get data every quarter of how your fund's performing. And again, you compare that to the benchmarks and make sure it's doing what you want it to do.
Right. And the other important thing, is especially with 401k plans. Well, though, let's just go to the summary takeaways and let's sum up what we said because we said a lot. So
but definitely put a reminder on your calendar to review that stuff. Otherwise, you'll forget. You won't remember to do
it. That's important. That's key. Okay, dope. I can't see. Did it come up?
I believe it did.
Because I can't see. I'm on a different.
It's up now.
Okay, good. Okay. I'll go first, dope. Don't leave money on the table. What that means is if the match is like the FDIC was giving a 10% match, right? And that's like technically, if you put in 5%, that's only a 50%. You're getting 50% of what they give you. But if you put in a 10, that's getting 100% match of 10%. So don't leave money on the table. Get that match, and it's best to get the full match. And remember, the more money you have in there, and the sooner you have it working for you, the more compound interest compounds. Where your interest make interest, and that's the key. Be consistent. Start early, and that's the great thing about 401k plans because they take it out automatically, and you don't even need to look at it. So don't leave the money on the table. Meet the match, but I say, don't just stop there. You can put a little bit more, and because a lot of people don't only, do the maximum, don't know that they can put more. They may not get the match, but you can invest more in to the 401k plan.
Yeah. Second one is let it ride. Don't pull the money out. Don't reduce the amount you're saving. Put that money in there so you get the value of compounding. Let that money grow. And you're going to have some bad years, but history has told us there are going to be a lot more good years than there are bad years. And usually after the bad years, you have really good years. So let that money ride, let it grow. In time, you'll be very, very happy if you do.
And though I had a friend was going to take money out of the 401k plan to do something, it wasn't a major thing. And I'm like, well, why are you going to take it out of your 401k plan and kill the earning power? Because if you look at the C fund and the thrift savings plan, though, it's been averaging anywhere between 15 and 20%. not this year, this year too has been around about maybe 15%, but I mean, like 2024, 2023 is easily was up like 20, 25%. So if you're taking that money out, you missing, the money being able to compound. So why don't you just take out a loan? And back then, loans was like 4%. So you make it 15% and only have to pay 4. That makes sense, you know. But anyway, you need to stay abreast of your investment. We talked about, making sure you keep an eye on it. You review it, adjust when necessary, when appropriate, but stay abreast of your investment. That investment is not about 401k plans. That's about all your investments. Your IRAs, your Roths, your if you got commodities like gold and silver, stay abreast of your investments. And it's very important that you do stay up to date and keep track.
And finally, don't ignore fees and taxes, because both of those can wreak havoc on your 401ks. Each fund is going to have a fee. Bob mentioned the expense ratio. Make sure you want to maximize how much you make and minimize how much it costs you. So make sure the fund you pick has good returns and also has low fees. And finally, understand any tax implications that are involved if you decide to pull money out, or whether you invest in a pre-tax plan or an after-tax plan. Make sure you understand the tax ramifications of that. And you need to make sure you aren't spending more than you need to as far as fees.
Yeah, because those, like I said, those fees can eat you up, man, and that's your money could be working for you. So please uh, stay abreast of that. So, uh, another good show. We'd like to thank everybody for hanging there with us, and we want to do our normal roll call because we're thankful for all the people that be on Modesteen in Lexington, South Carolina. Thank you, dear. My sister Nolia and sister Gloria. Now this time Linda's not on, but Linda is in Niagara Falls celebrating the birthday with her daughter Rhonda. So we'd like to say congratulations, happy birthday to Rhonda. Now, Dodie, hello there, dearest. You always there supporting us. Thank you much. Carl Chapman. Carl Chapman showed me a picture. There's a new Wilt Chamberlain t-shirt out called Never Forget the Legends or something like that. I'm getting one of them, Billy, because I like me some Wilt Chamberlain, man. Thanks,
And
Carl.
people forget him. People don't.
Yeah, this mug got about 70 records, man. This guy was a
Still,
beast. Still to this day.
hasn't played
Yeah.
in over 50 years. It's still got
Yeah,
records.
yeah. And they talk about, the young boys talk about, oh, there ain't no sinners. Man, they had some sinners, Nate Thurman.
But see, Bob, people forget there was only 8, 9 teams.
Right.
And
Right.
everybody had a good center.
Yes.
And the other thing, the fact there's only 8, 9 teams means you had the best of the best.
Right.
Okay. So when you have 32 teams like they do now, the
Right.
talent gets watered down
Yeah,
somewhat.
you may have
Back
two
then-
good players on the
Yeah,
team.
back then, only the best played, and everybody had a good center.
And
People just forget.
People forget Wilt Chamberlain played against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and blocked his hook shot twice. The only person to block his hook shot. Okay, I digress. Okay, Joanne Skinner, what's up, girl? Hey, Brian, what's up, Brian? And it's pronounced Donahue. Okay,
I do believe that's it.
thank you for joining us. Pam Hill, my wonderful classmate, and we studied sociology, and she is now director of the Phyllis Wheatley House down in Washington D.C. Doing a great deal with women, at-risk women, man. And thanks, Pam, for what you're doing. You stuck and got your degree and master's from you got your UDC. This here for the University of District of Columbia. Yes. And my good buddy, Michael Graham. What's up, Mike? Hope you're feeling better, my good brother, man. Thanks for tuning in. We gonna have a great show next week, though. We got some tentative guests, man, like Cassie Russell, Bob Dandridge, Adrian Dantley. Yes.
Those are some favorites, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we're looking forward to that, man. And so, dope. My quote of the week is, a man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask a question is a fool for life.
I like that.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be here next week. We might not, though. I got to talk to you. I'm having heart ablation next week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll pass on next week then.
You sure? I think I'll be all right. It's going to happen at 10 in the morning.
No. You've been in the hospital, probably.
No, I'll be out by then.
That's the very thing. You need to relax, my brother.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to do next week because it's Big Bob. You know, my heart is so big that they have to go in there. That's what happens when you have an extra large heart, the kind guy that I am.
I could be real mean and say you need an extra large heart for your extra large body, but I won't say that. I'm not that kind of guy.
Oh, you didn't just say that, though.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not.
I didn't just hear that either, though.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't.
Okay, and that's fair because that's exactly why you have an extra large brain. Touche, goddamn.
No, you need to take it easy, really, though, because
okay, so
you got to spend. You want to spend 4 hours after the ablation where you can't move.
You're right.
You can't do nothing.
I hear you, Mike. I see Mike looking out for his boy. He said, relax. I will. So we won't be doing next week's show, y'all. We're going to do the week after that. So we see you then. And it's probably, it just takes a day recovery. But anyway, they're going up in my heart. And it's, it's a good thing. And hey, Kitty, what's up, Kitty? Just good evening all. And what's she saying? 60 seconds. Oh, okay. Oh, see, Kitty is my historian too. Also, she's the queen of the International Toastmasters, but she said it's the 62nd anniversary of the March on Washington.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild? Thanks, Kitty, for that information. 62. Damn. Didn't seem that long ago, did it?
Yeah. Actually, I was 9 years old.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you for that information, Kitty. So look, everybody, have a wonderful week, and we see you the week after next. And look, put those comments in there and shows you like for us to talk about, topics that you like for us to talk about. And if we don't know about them, we know where to get the information to give it to you. Man, look, we got a lot of latecomers today, and they on here. Okay, more people on here than I thought. Rodney Madison Sr., okay.
Hey, Rodney.
Rodney, he said, great show. Man, it's a bunch of people still popping up. Okay, all right, I'm all for that. Thank you all once again, man. We love y'all dearly and appreciate y'all supporting us. But remember, share this information. Don't hold on to it. This is the key to overcoming all this craziness. Oh, see what I'm talking about, Kitty Dope? Tomorrow is 20 years after Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
Kitty, I'm going to stay on a little longer. What else you want to tell me? It's the 30th anniversary of draws or something. So, all right, girl, thank you. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see you 2 weeks from now.
And good luck with your ablation, man. Hope everything goes well. Pray it will.
Thank you very much.
Y'all keep Bob in your prayers.
Yeah, I got a couple of people out here sending their prayers. Thank you very much. I can use that.